Hello, everyone. For those of you tuning in, welcome to the Smales Pace YouTube channel. My name is John Smale, and I'm celebrating the folk music days surrounding my time in London, Ontario, when I owned a coffee house in the 1970s. Over the years, I've made so many interesting friends. Not an exclusive group, a very inclusive group that there were a lot of us at that time making history. Now, I thought I'd talk about memories, musicians, patrons, other coffee houses, folk festivals, things like that. Then I thought, well, who's interested? But there is a story here. There's a narrative of how we developed as a culture. This may sound a little overstated, overblown, or a bit of a hyperbole, but we did not live in isolation in London, Ontario. I know this is really about a Canadian identity story. YouTube is a worldwide phenomenon, and I'm sure many of the things that I'll be talking about were shared experiences around the globe. Those were halcyon days. We were young, we were creative, we were daring, and we were part of a generational movement. And the idea of a coffee house is a listening friendly venue for musicians. People love the intimacy. They love the immediacy of musicians on stage in a room without alcohol. Now, I like a drink as much as the next person, but there is a difference when you're listening to music in a bar. There's always somebody trying to outdo somebody else or there for some motivation. There was more of an authentic, honest feeling about being so close and able to communicate, unlike a bar or even a concert hall for that matter. This channel is going to be about storytelling. It's going to be about interviews and spinning tunes. SmalesPace was all about the music. Some names were marquee names, some were rising stars, and some were on a journey of paying their dues and rising to recognition. My job was to be a host and to be an impresario, to get the word out about the up-and-coming Canadian singer-songwriter phenomenon, which is a phenomenon dear to this country. A sampling of some of those musicians would include Stan Rogers, Bruce Cockburn, Willie P. Bennett, David Bradstreet, Lazarus, Tom Rush, Murray McLaughlin, Valdy, the Good Brothers, Luke Gibson, Colleen Peterson, Eric Anderson, Jesse Winchester, Jerry Jeff Walker, and many, many more. We'll get into that as time goes on. Over the years, we've lost many friends, and many of them were musical friends. We lost them far too young, to illnesses and tragedy, etc. But we're here today to celebrate their contributions and their unique story. I hope to tell many stories that I think will be interesting, not only in an archival, historical way, but hopefully in an entertaining way, without a political correctness or anything like that. I've got a fairly good memory, and I sincerely hope it serves me well, and I don't fall into that kind of revisionist historical account. The years we were talking about are sort of loosely 1969 to 1979. They were, as I said, wondrous years, times of change, times of revolution, protest, and awakening. I think of them as being a gentler time. I know that's a fairly common theme running through a lot of memory channels, but that kind of age of Aquarius was where hope sprang eternal, and I hope that stays with us today. At the prompting of my son Trevor and my daughter Kaylee, and some really close friends, I'm now jumping into this project to have fun and hopefully along the way provide some context to our part of the Canadian cultural landscape. I'm looking for community involvement to give this channel some real legs, so it's not about the past. We're walking from the past into the present and hopefully into the future. They say if you don't respect history and learn from it, you are bound to repeat it. And in some ways, that's not such a bad thing when we're talking about historical musical culture. But I'm here to celebrate today. There's lots of interest in things that are still going on in the folk music scenes and storytelling scenes. Now, you didn't have to be there to understand the music of SmalesPace, or the day-to-day life of us young men and women. We were at tender young ages, wandering around London, finding our way in life. That's a universal story at all times in history, as I say, right around the globe. If you like where this is heading, please hit the subscribe button below, and you'll be reminded of upcoming episodes. It's really great starting in on this, and I hope you get to join me just about every day as I bring to you some new stories, some new music, some old stories, some old music. And I really thank you and look forward to hearing your comments. Bye-bye.